In this module, we are going to talk about another very important function which is called as XLOOKUP function. Now, this XLOOKUP function is a modern replacement for VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and LOOKUP functions. It has been introduced in Excel 365 and in Excel 2021. However, it is not backward compatible, which means it's not available in the older versions. However, you can still get the add-ins downloaded from the net. It's available, and then you can add those add-ins in your workbook. So if you look, this is the Excel add-ins which I have added by browsing and going to the place where I'm actually stored that. So here's the add-ins which I have. So I've taken up this add-in and I've added to my system. So you can download this add-in and then you can add it. And once you've added it, it will be available here in the add-in section and you can check it out. Okay. And then you might get that function on the older versions. Now, XLOOKUP is a modern replacement for the VLOOKUP functions, as I said earlier. It is flexible and versatile function that can be used in variety of situations. Okay, you can find values vertically, horizontally. So initially VLOOKUP was basically for vertical lookup, HLOOKUP for horizontal lookup. And VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP basically does the approximate and exact match. Here you have approximate and exact match with wildcard characters as well. So we'll discuss that, what is wildcard characters and how it works. So you can also do partial matches. So there are two extreme, one is approximate and one is exact, and there could be something called as partial matches. So we'll look into what partial matches is all about, and then we can have XLOOKUP can search data starting from the first value or the last value. So you can say, okay, start from the top down or from down to the top. So any direction you can also set using XLOOKUP. So it's very handy function because you can do a lot of things which was not available with VLOOKUP. So let's simply very quickly compare XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP and see how they actually differ. Now, XLOOKUP can retrieve a dynamic array of results. So it's not just a single value which XLOOKUP basically extracts, but you can actually extract a array, a range. However, VLOOKUP can only return a single value. XLOOKUP can look up values anywhere in an array. So it'd be left, right, horizontal, vertical, anywhere. So you're not confined to like the leftmost column and the topmost row as far as VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP is concerned. However, you can pick up the values from any array, whether it be left, right, or whatever. So XLOOKUP actually defaults to exact match. So if you don't provide the match, it looks the exact match. However, if you look at VLOOKUP, it actually defaults to approximate match. So XLOOKUP supports wildcard text matching. If you don't know what wildcard is, I'll explain that. Whereas VLOOKUP doesn't support wildcard. Includes built-in error handling. So if there is some error, like if the value you're looking for is not found, it can show hash NA, which normally it does with VLOOKUP. And then we use if error method to actually give a customized message. Now, XLOOKUP has some inbuilt error handling where you don't require an if error method on top of XLOOKUP to give customized error messages. So basically, we can use the XLOOKUP has an inbuilt. So that's another area of advantage of using XLOOKUP. In VLOOKUP, whenever we do a approximate match, we want our list to be sorted. However, XLOOKUP doesn't want that. It can find approximate matches in unsorted list, and that's a good benefit. Okay. VLOOKUP does a top-down approach, so it starts from the top and goes below, whereas XLOOKUP can do both top-down or bottom-up approach. So these are the few differences between XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP is quite handy, right, in case of the modern lookup function is concerned. So if you're using a newer version of your Excel, like 365 and 2021, then you might get this XLOOKUP there. But if you're not, then you might use the add-ins to get it in your older versions. Okay.